You guys, Crescent here. Welcome to another build video. This time I'm gonna show you guys my build for Magicka Sorcerer, which is what I used in the previous gameplay video for Magicka Sorc. This build is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. A lot of players use this build. It's nothing special, but I'll just tell you why I use this build and how I make it work and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'll go into the sets like usual. I'll just tell you what this setup is good against and not so good against. So basically I'm using 5-piece spinners on the front bar, which give us a lot of spell penetration on the Inferno staff bar, and I'll be using Leech on the back bar, and with the Resto staff on the back bar obviously. And the monster helm I'll be using is a Bloodspawn. If I have the choice, I would use 7 impenetrable on every pieces. That is just how I like to roll, because I feel like shields are not super reliable sometimes, and what kills you is usually crit damage when your shields are down. So I feel like impenetrable is really important. However, like me, if you don't have all the sets in impenetrable, you want to use at least like 4. I think 5. Yeah, I have 5 pieces impenetrable. You can use infuse on the big pieces if you don't have impenetrable, or divines is okay as well. I have divines here as well. I can't be asked farming Bloodspawn helm, so I just use the divines. And you want to have 1 medium and 1 heavy on the head and shoulders, and everything else on the body are light. We can't go big pieces on the body because Leech and Spinners only comes in a light armor. So yeah, you have to go body, belt, gloves, legs and boots all in light. Yeah, Bloodspawn 1 heavy and 1 medium. And the other sets that you could use besides Bloodspawn are Infernal Guardian. I find it really good in a, I would say 1v1 or 1v2 situations, but more than that it's not that good because you can't control the damage where it's gonna go. It's always gonna go to the furthest enemy. So I don't think it's really that good, but in a dueling situation, I feel like Infernal Guardian is extremely good. Another set you could use, which is really overpowered in my opinion defensively, is I don't have it on me now, which is Pirate Skeleton. Yeah, Pirate Skeleton. Yeah, some people said this set is not that good anymore after the nerf that when you're getting damage while shielded, you won't be able to proc this set. But I feel like you can't be shielded up 100% all of the time, so eventually this will proc and you will be super tanky if Pirate Skeleton proc. So I feel like this set in a raid situation is extremely good as well. And there's one more set, I don't have it on me as well, so I need to search my bag. Slimecraw. I'm gonna use Slimecraw next patch because the 1-piece bonus will be changed to crit, spell crit and normal crit, weapon crit I mean, sorry. So I feel like Slimecraw might be really awesome as well for Sorcerer. I'm gonna test out Slimecraw next patch, and I think Slimecraw will be better than Bloodspawn. But overall this setup is pretty good, and what I use on the rings is, it's up to you basically, because I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm super good with Sorc just yet. I can 1vx, but I couldn't go fight against like really decent players in an outnumbered situation, not like my DK or my Nightblade or other classes that I play better than a Sorc. So I put in 2 cost reduction, so that my shields are cheaper, because we are not running something like a cyrodiil or stuff like that. So I feel like shield cost a lot. That's why I feel 2 reduced cost is really important, and 1 Magicka recovery. You could change this out because we are running Leech, which gives us extremely high recovery when it procs. So it's really up to you. You could put 1 spell damage here, but no matter what, I highly recommend you to use 2 cost reduction on a Magicka Sorc, because you will be shield stacking a lot, and shields cost a lot of Magicka. Okay, so these are the sets, and the pots I'll be using. Usually I'll be using only tri-stat potion. Sometimes I will use this immovable potion, especially when I'm in a group and we are doing a big push towards like a lot of enemies. I'll just use this immovable pot, or the spell detect detection pot which gives you spell damage, major sorcery I mean, and Magicka recovery, is extremely good against Nightblades, because this patch is all about sorcerers and Nightblades. You either find a Magicka Sword or you find a stamina Nightblade. So detection pot is extremely important as well. Okay, the weapon enchantment I'll be using is obviously Oblivion damage. This is hands down the best enchantment. You could use, if you are Dark Elf, you could consider using a flame damage enchantment. It's up to you, or even something like a enchantment that gives extra damage to Vampire. It's extremely good as well, but I feel like Oblivion is the most balanced one. It's getting nerfed the next patch, but still really good. And the back bar, I'll be using increased weapon damage and spell damage. Sometimes, actually quite a few times, I'll be using something like a poison on the back bar, which gives minor breach, which is really good as well, because it's 6.4 seconds, and it gives me some Magicka recovery for 3.5 seconds, which I like for this. This is like a sustain / damage Magicka poison, extremely good for classes like Magicka Nightblade, or obviously Magicka Sword. For these two classes, even sometimes I would say Magicka Warden could use this potion as well. It's really flexible. Okay, the food we'll be using is this tri-stat food, the max health, max Magicka, and max stamina tri-stat food. I find it really important that you have at least minimum 14k stamina, and yeah, good amount of recovery. Recovery doesn't need to be that much, to be honest. It doesn't need to be 800, but your max stamina, you have to have at least 14k minimum. Okay, and what else? I'm not a vampire. You could be a vampire as well, but I'm not a vampire. I think I should be a vampire next patch, definitely, because I feel like recovery is pretty important, especially the stamina one, and the Magicka one is pretty important as well, because I'm a high elf, so it just adds up more. So I think I need to grind out my vampire. That's another problem, so I'm a bit lazy, but I would recommend you to go vampire for sorcerer, because when you're low HP, when you shield up, your shield will get that extra defense, like up to 33% of reduction damage, which is really awesome. Makes you really hard to people to burst you down. Okay, and one more thing, I'm using the Astronaut Mundus. Okay, for this patch, Spinners is decent. It's pretty good. Against shielded target, it's not that good, like a Magicka Sword, or maybe a Warden that use shields that have extremely high max Magicka that use shields. This build is not that good against those builds. However, for the next patch, you need to remember that Sharpen basically got reduced by close to 50%, 45% or so, the effectiveness of Sharpen. So it's about 2.6, I can't remember, 2.4, 2.5, around that area, which makes oh my god, my character is so loud. Whatever. Which makes Spinner a really good setup, because it gives you that 4000 spell penetration. And what you could do, I might actually buy an Precise Inferno Staff, because Precise got buffed. There's no Nern Inferno Staff, and I don't think Nern is that good, to be honest. So I would go Precise Inferno Staff the next patch. And I'll show you the stat sheets unbuffed for now. That is yeah. My max Magicka is about 39k, health 21.5, stamina 14.4, recovery, this is everything is unbuffed. Spell damage is a bit low, to be honest, but you remember, spell damage and spell crit is a bit low. That's why for next patch I'm gonna put more into crit. I'll use a crit stick, I'll use a crit inferno stuff, Spinner crit inferno stuff, and that will improve my spell crit. But you need to remember that we have crazy amount of penetration for this build. 15k, that is a lot, really a lot. 15k, imagine that. Basically medium armor builds are gonna have 0 armor if you're using this build. Yeah, like I said, the downside is against Magicka Sorcerer, it might not be the best build against Magicka Sorcerer. Okay, so let's say if I buff it up. Alright. Oh, I got the wrong skill here, pardon me. switch this up. Okay, got the correct skill now. Let me buff up everything and let me use I'll just use a normal tri-step pot. Alright, so I'll get that recovery. I'm buffed up now. On the front bar, this is my buffed up stats without leech, obviously, about close to 2k. 32 crit, which is decent. Recovery is really high without leech buff as well. Stamina recovery is extremely high as well. That's how you sustain your Magicka and stamina with leech as well, and cost reduction. So yeah, the stats are really decent on this build. And the most important thing is penetration. Against heavy armor build, this is the best. Alright, so what else? The skills, yeah, really important. Almost forgot about the skills. Okay, so Endless Fury, this is your execute, must have in my opinion in open world. Curse is must have as well. After 3.5 seconds you'll do a big damage. Crushing Shock, you could use something like Force Pulse. I highly recommend Crushing Shock because it's just so good to interrupt players, especially in 1v1 situations when all those Templars, you know, they are harassing people non-stop. You just use on Crushing Shock to interrupt them, which is awesome. That's why I personally prefer Crushing Shock. Hardened What, your bread and butter. You look at this cost, it's only 2.6 because we have 2 cost reduction, which makes Hardened What really spammable. Crystal Frag, your burst damage. You always want to time this. After 3 seconds you want to use your frag with your curse. Always remember that. And Soul Assault is my preferred ulti. There are a few exceptions, of course. You could use Destro ulti if you want. As Destro ulti is not that good if you are solo, in my opinion. But if you are in a group, I think Destro is pretty strong. Meteor is really good as well. Meteor is pretty good as well. Shooting Star. Or you could use something like Dawnbreaker is pretty good as well. Those are the 4 ultis that I prefer to use. And on the back bar, we'll be using Power Surge. This is your dot heal when you do damage, crit damage. And Boundless Storm, this is a flex spot for. I like Boundless Storm because you can run away from people really fast, especially from Zergs. And gives you that resistance is pretty good as well. I feel like Boundless Storm is a really balanced skill, as in it gives you a lot of buffs, gives you major resolve, major ward, 7.5 seconds major expedition, and gives you this mini dot which lasts 23 seconds around you. That's why I find Boundless Storm extremely nice. And this skill is debatable. Ball of Lightning, you could use a Streak or Ball of Lightning. Both are extremely good. In my opinion, if you want to use Destro Ultimate, you have to use Streak because you need to get that instant CC into Destro Ultimate against multiple target. But for me, I don't really like Destro Ultimate on my build, on my Magicka Sorcerer. That's why I use Streak. I use Ball of Lightning. Both are really good. Ball of Lightning stuns people around you, which is melee target, while you move away, and 2.5 seconds you're immune to any spell projection, any Magicka spells. That's why against Magicka Sorcerer, this skill is extremely good against Magicka classes, basically range Magicka classes, and against like multiple opponents that are pounding on you. This Ball of Lightning is better. However, Streak offensively is definitely better. Like if you're under pressure, you could use Streak as well. You could like move behind your opponent a bit, so they are in front of you, and you streak through them. That is how you turn defense into offense. Or you want to just run away from enemy, but you are getting pounded too much by 2 or 3 Nightblades, for example. Just move behind them, streak through them, and go away. Both are really good, really up to you. Harness Magicka, obviously your second shield, and your third healing shield is Healing One. Yeah, needless to explain, both are extremely good. And on the back bar, there are a lot of skills you could use. I find Negate sometimes to be extremely useful because if I play in a small group like 2 or 3 people and we are in a tight area, for example in a tower, Negate is just so good. People don't see that coming. You suddenly put a Negate, your friend drop a meteor on them, you streak through them and everything, you can do a lot of damage. However, in a strictly speaking situation like 1vx, 2vx, really small skill situation, I think Light Champion is just too godly to let up. If you read it, it gives a really huge heal for every second, could be higher if I buff up, and gives you major force, which is offense buff, major protection, which is defense buff for 5 seconds, which is crazy, especially the major protection needs a nerf. 30% is way too much. That's why Magicka socks are way too tanky in this patch because of this skill. I think, yeah, basically major protection needs to go down to about 25% or 20%, and then that is, I would say, balanced. 30% is way too much in my opinion. Source, please take note, yeah? Alright, so this skill is just too OP in my opinion. You have to use it, it's so strong. Alright, so what are my combo? Basically it's pretty simple. What I use is, the first thing I see opener, I curse him, okay? I curse him, I weave him crushing shock like usual. Of course you need to buff up, you need to shield up. You put your 2 buffs, power surge and ball of lightning. You could put up 1 shield, harden one, your choice, any shield. Just put up 1, you don't need to put up 2 unless you're under a lot of pressure. You just put up 1 shield, you put a curse, you try to get your frag to proc up. If your frag is available and your curse just went off, you don't wait for another 8 seconds for the curse to proc. You use another curse, you wait for the timing, 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, there's an add-on for it. You can just look at add-ons. I don't know what add-on I use, but basically there are a lot of add-ons you can use to check the timer of the curse. LUI does it really well as well. On the opener you can see how long is the curse to proc, and then the moment before the curse proc, you want to throw in a frag, and then you instantly soul assault. Beforehand you can apply your endless fury as well. So this is your burst, you put a curse like very usual, you just weave in, get your frag up, put another curse, okay, then wait for 3 seconds, which is really short. The 3 seconds is up, instantly throw a frag, and then you instantly throw soul assault. You don't wait. Before the frag hit them, you soul assault ready, and then execute them. Usually not so experienced player will die. And why, there's a reason why I use soul assault compared to something like Soul Assault and what do you call that, Fighter's Guild ultimate. Dawnbreaker are extremely good ultimate. Dawnbreaker gives you a stun as well, AoE as well, but you need to go in front of your opponent. Both cost very low ultimate. The thing is, Dawnbreaker for this patch is dodgeable, that's why I don't use it. For the next patch, I would say both are extremely good. Really up to you which one you prefer. I might even use Dawnbreaker to be honest, but I think so because Dawnbreaker is instant and then you can animation cancel, straight you go into offense again. Soul Assault, you have to channel it, but the damage on Soul Assault is just ridiculous if you can look at it, and reduce the movement speed, and enemy can't cloak for 2 seconds. That's why I love Soul Assault. Alright, and yeah, basically that's about the build. I think I didn't miss out. Yeah, I need to go through the CP super quickly. I almost forgot. It's very straightforward. Warlock 34, 43 Siphoner. You could put less into Siphoner, up to you. 3 Sprinter, 75 Arcanist. Don't go more than 75. 14% is the highest you should go. Don't go to 15%. It's not worth it for that 25 points to get 15%. Tenacity, only 15 points because it got nerfed, so 4%. Tumbling 40. I dodge throw a lot, so it's really important. Elemental Expert 49, 44 Elf Bond, 13 Spell Erosion. For the next patch, I would put more into Elf Bond because I'll be using precise stuff. So it's really up to you. If your crit is more than 40 or 45%, you want to get it up to around, I mean, maybe 20% of crit. But my crit is only 32%, so I put it lower. Okay, Master at Arms 66, really important. Shattering Blows, because remember, this build is not so good against a shielded enemy because of high penetration and not so high spell damage. That's why we put more into Shattering Blows. You get an 8% more against shielded target. 9 to Staff Expert when you weave in light attack, heavy attack, stuff like that. And Thermal Church 11 points. If you're not using Soul Assault, put 0 into this. I don't think it's that good, and anyways, I put 11 points because I'm using Soul Assault, that's all. Okay, Ironclad 51, Thick Skin 23, 2 into, this is just my dump points, I got 2 extra points, I just dump it into Light Armor. 32 into Hardy, 27 into Elemental Defender. You want more into Hardy because we are Light Armor build and Light Armor has higher resistance against Magicka opponent, so you want more into Hardy, always remember that. And always remember to put 51 into Ironclad, extremely important. Ironclad is super important. Okay, and 72 into Bastion, you want to get that 23%. You could put 81 into here, but I think that is a little bit overkill, so I prefer 23% is really good already. It's the sweet spot for me. And then 3 into Expert Defender. Yeah, just to prevent some heavy attack ganking build or something. You could put more into Expert Defender, really up to you, but I think, yeah, with shields should be fine. If you're disciplined with your shields, you won't get ganked a lot. Okay, yeah, so this is the build. Hope you like it. And yeah, of course, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll come up with a lot of ESO video, mainly PvP focus. I might start to venture into PvE. I'm not sure yet, because at the moment in PC EU, PvP is a bit dead after the Mayhem event. So we shall see. But the next video will most likely be a Templar build video. Got a lot of requests for that. I'll go through the few setups that I use on my Templar, defensive Templar setup and offensive Templar setup, and hope you stay tuned for that video as well. And yeah, make sure you like the video and share if you want to, and I'll see you guys in cyrodiil. Okay, bye bye.